Good evening and welcome to the Business Examiner. We have a fantastic show for you tonight. I talked to Mr. Robert Vergara, the President and General Manager of the GSIS, or the Government Service Insurance System. He tells us about the many reforms going on in his institution. And you'll be glad to know that these reforms, well, most of them, are geared towards making transactions with the GSIS easier and more convenient for its members. So stay tuned. It's going to be one exciting evening here on the Business Examiner. We are joined today by the man on whose shoulders lies the responsibility of securing the future of all government employees. He is in charge of administering close to 800 billion worth of assets that work towards providing pension, retirement, disability, and other insurance benefits for our millions of civil servants. Please welcome the President and General Manager of the GSIS, Mr. Robert Vergara. I'd like first to talk about the financial health of GSIS itself as an institution. Based on my research, I know that in the year 2010, our assets, or your assets, amounted to something like 567 billion.
Yes.
While last year, it ballooned to as much as 786 billion. So we're talking about a 40% increase.
Yes.
To what do you attribute this, Bernie?
Well, several things. I think the biggest one is really the capital markets of the country have done very, very well.
Right.
I think it has not escaped the attention of many investors that the Philippines has been one of the best performing markets in the world, both
True.
in the equity market and the fixed income markets.
Yes.
And given that the GSIS has a large investment portfolio where we deploy the savings from our members
Right.
that are remitted every month, we've had the benefit of that better performance investments. We've also improved our collection of
Yes.
premiums. In 2010, we also did some realignments in how the portfolio was invested.
Right.
I think at that time, we had a small exposure in the local equity market. We also had a lot of our bonds invested in the short to medium term maturities.
Right.
Obviously, the liabilities of pension fund are quite long dated.
Yes,
So we,
yes.
we very aggressively
Yeah.
extended the maturities
Yeah.
of our bond portfolio while interest rates
Yeah.
were still reasonably high.
So
We
yeah.
also had some investments in the international markets, which
Okay.
we redeemed in the
Yes.
first quarter of 2011.
Right.
And it was a timely decision because the rest of 2011 saw a tremendous
So it was a
drop.
good timing, huh?
It was a good time. And also it's a good time to invest in the local,
In the local
markets
market.
because
Yeah.
in 2011 as well,
Yeah.
the equity market did nothing. So we
Right.
had an opportunity to
Yeah.
invest at
Yeah.
a good level. And 2012, the market was up, what, 38%?
Yeah.
So
Right,
that was
right.
that was
So it was
really
good for your bottom line.
a big hit
Yeah.
for us. Yeah.
I know that profits peaked in 2012
Yes.
at about 92 billion.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
That was quite a feat, huh?
Yes.
Although in 2013, it hasn't quite reached the same level. I think we were something in the area of 44
Yes.
billion or so.
Yes.
Why? Why the slump? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, two things. Clearly, we were coming off a very robust equity market performance in
Right.
2012. Like I said, the market was up nearly 36 or 37%.
Yes.
Our portfolio actually did a lot better. I think I calculated somewhere in the mid-40s. And the following year, 2013, the equity market was pretty lackluster. It was only up,
Yes, yes.
I think, 2%, or
Right,
maybe
right.
with dividends close under 5%.
Yeah.
And also, we didn't get the same lift from the bond markets. Bond markets peaked in the second quarter of 2013,
Yes,
and then it sort of, with
Right,
rates
yeah.
expectations
Yeah.
moving higher,
Yeah.
they sort of came off liquidity and
You know,
cash.
Well, what I wanted to establish was the solidity or the financial soundness of the institution, and I
Yeah.
think you've more than answered that. I believe that the GSIS today is in better financial health than it ever was in the past. So for that, congratulations.
Thank you.
But I'd like to shift gears.
Okay.
And I know that one of your thrusts Bernie, has always been to make, how shall we say, transacting with GSIS easier for the members.
Yes.
For the, I remember a time when just to get an update of my status, I needed to go, or a member physically had to go to the GSIS office to update or just to find out the status. Is that still relevant up to now?
Reorganized our front line
Yes.
in such a way that we are at what we call one-stop shop center. So
Right.
it doesn't matter where you are, you just go to the nearest GSIS office
Right.
to transact with us. In
Yeah.
the past, if you were, say, from Cebu, and you happen to be traveling in Metro Manila and you went
Yes.
to Metro Manila, you might not be able to get the documentation that you require because a lot of it is held in Cebu. Now,
Yes.
computerization has clearly made it possible for us to service you, and we've organized ourselves that way.
Yes.
We've also deployed a lot of these automatic kiosks. There, these
Right.
where people will go to what looks like an ATM, tap their UMID.
GSIS ATM machines?
Yes,
you mean?
it's like an ATM, but it doesn't
Alright.
really dispense any cash.
Okay, okay.
So
Okay.
what you do is you go there, you tap your unified multipurpose ID card, which has
Right.
biometric data unique to you.
Okay.
And then you can
So
now
your entire profile is flashed.
your profile will be there. You can see it, and in fact, you can apply for loans now on
Right,
that machine.
right.
And we found that is the preferred
Yes,
mode
yes.
by which our members want to apply for. Almost nearly 90% of our members
So
now
how
do their
many of
loans
these
that way.
kiosks are deployed around the country today?
Right now we have about 850
Right.
all over the country. It's in
Yeah.
all provincial capitals,
Yes.
municipal offices, all DepEd, all district offices, DepEd. We even have tie-ups with
Yeah.
malls so
Right.
that it's there. But filing for retirement benefit is still something that must be done because of documentary requirements.
Right,
It's still
right.
something that has to be done where you put together the application, including documents, and you either do
Right.
that, take that to the GSIS office, or you might have what we call our liaison officers
Right.
to bring that on their periodic visits to the office.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometime in the end of 2014, the fourth quarter, we hope to unleash unveil
Yeah.
our GSIS members online, or GSIS Mo, eGSIS Mo,
Okay.
which will give our members access to the GSIS database. We'll give you a password. You can now go in, and then you can look at your records. And the complaint has always been that I never know what my outstanding balances is.
Right.
I only find that out when I finally go to the GSIS office, and usually this is when I retire. And then often
right.
I discover I have these
Yeah.
outstanding
So
amounts
it's
that I never had.
It's, for all intents and purposes, it's like e-banking.
Well, that's a dream.
That's a dream.
That's a
Okay.
dream. That's what we want to do. We want to be able to give the information which are relevant to our members at their fingertips.
Right.
And we're going to start this thing very carefully.
But you already have been issuing e-cards, right?
UMID cards and e-cards, yes.
Yeah, yes.
Yes. The way we intend to launch this is we're going to prioritize those who might be nearing their retirement. So sometime in December this year, eGSIS members online will be made accessible to those who are in government service born, say, 1955 and earlier.
Before.
Because they're the ones that would be 59
Right.
and
Yeah.
older, who might be approaching or considering retirement, because our retirement age is 60 with a mandatory at 65.
I understand that some of the documentary requirements were in fact relaxed.
Yes.
For retiring government work. On that.
Yeah, time and again, whenever the chairman and I or any of my trustees go and meet with our members, which we do periodically.
Yes.
We always hear a sad story about a member who's come in with documents, who's told it's incomplete, please come back.
Yes.
And then the member comes back only to be told that there's something else complete. So they feel like a ping pong ball being hit back and forth.
Yeah.
So we undertook a complete review of all the documentary requirements. For example, we already have UMID cards that have your biometric information. So that's supposed to be unique to you. Nobody else has your fingertips.
Yeah.
And yet, sometime in the past, we would ask for your UMID card, and then we want 2 other IDs. Why do we need that? So
it's all there already.
We got
all.
rid of that.
Yeah.
And in some cases, we were able to reduce it by as much as 6 or 7 requirements.
Yeah.
We've also tried to make it easier. Instead of having affidavits, certifications by the barangay would be enough to prove dependency. A ruling was made that for people who were retiring, they had to get clearance from the Office of the Ombudsman, Office of the Civil Service Commission, that they had no pending cases.
Okay, okay.
And I think the idea was that so that those who might merit a penalty or a sanction which involved forfeiture, then that does not hurt the GSIS.
Yes, yes, yes.
Unfortunately, this was leading to this only really relates to very, very few members in government. Kokonti lang yung may mga kaso. But we're now imposing this on the entire bureaucracy, and what's happening is it's clogging the lobby of the Ombudsman, it's clogging the CSC. So we sat down with the 2 agencies and said, how can we try to do this more effectively? And in the end, we agreed that instead of them having to go to these 2 agencies and ask for individual clearance, what we do is we take a certification from the member saying that he or she doesn't have a pending case, and that's a statement under oath.
Yes.
So we throw the responsibility back to the individual to make a truthful statement about his or her her situation.
You know, next I'd like to talk about your 24-hour call center. But before that, let's stop for a break. Friends, we'll be right back.